Remember when your grandma shared that heartwarming yet slightly cheesy video on Facebook? The one with the obvious moral lesson and the overly dramatic acting? Well, chances are you were witnessing the Dharr Mann phenomenon in all its glory. Dharr Mann, the once celebrated entrepreneur turned self-help guru, took the internet by storm with his bite-sized videos tackling life's everyday dilemmas. From cheating spouses to workplace bullies, no problem was too trivial for Mann's brand of easily digestible inspiration. His signature style, think exaggerated scenarios, over-the-top acting, and endings so predictable you could set your watch to them. But like a roller coaster that climbs too high, what goes up must come down. In Mann's case, the descent was swift and brutal. The same formula that catapulted him to fame eventually became his undoing, leaving many to wonder. How did the man who once inspired millions become the internet's favorite punching bag? Join us as we dissect the rise and fall of Dharr Mann, a cautionary tale of internet fame, questionable morals, and the dangers of sacrificing authenticity for views. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. So what exactly was Dharr Mann's secret sauce? How did he manage to amass millions of followers and become the unofficial king of inspirational content? The answer lies in a potent cocktail of relatability, simplicity, and a dash of shameless manipulation. Mann's videos were short, snappy, and readily consumable in our attention deficit world. Each one followed a predictable formula, a relatable problem, a clear hero and villain, and a heavy-handed moral lesson delivered with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Think of it as Aesop's fables for the social media generation. His target audience, anyone and everyone. Mann's videos touched upon universal themes like love, betrayal, and redemption, making them easily shareable and relatable across demographics. Throw in some catchy background music and dramatic cliffhangers, and you've got yourself a recipe for viral success. The result? Millions of views, shares, and comments, propelling Mann into the digital stratosphere. He became a household name, his face plastered across social media feeds, his name whispered in hushed tones as the patron saint of second chances and life lessons learned. Little did everyone know the cracks in Mann's carefully constructed facade were about to show. As Mann's fame grew, so did the scrutiny. The same formulaic approach that once charmed audiences began to feel stale and repetitive. The once relatable scenarios now seemed contrived, the acting robotic, the moral lessons preachy and condescending. Viewers started to notice a disconnect between Mann's online persona and his real-life actions. Accusations of hypocrisy and exploitative business practices began to surface, painting a less than rosy picture of the man behind the inspirational messages. The internet, never one to miss an opportunity for a good old-fashioned takedown, pounced. Memes mocking Mann's videos flooded social media. Critics dissected his every move, highlighting the inconsistencies and questionable ethics. The tide was turning, and the once untouchable guru was now drowning in a sea of ridicule. What was once a beacon of positivity had become a cautionary tale of the perils of internet fame. The very audience that once celebrated Mann was now questioning his motives, exposing the fragility of a brand built on manufactured sincerity. One of the most common criticisms leveled against Dharr Mann. His content had become painfully predictable. Every video followed the same formulaic structure, offering no surprises, no nuance, no room for interpretation. Imagine watching a movie where you knew exactly what would happen from the opening scene. The hero would face a challenge, make a mistake, learn a valuable lesson, and emerge triumphant in the end. Sounds a bit dull, right? That was the essence of the Dharr Mann experience in a nutshell. The exaggerated acting, once a source of amusement, became a source of mockery. Characters were reduced to one-dimensional caricatures, their actions dictated by the moral lesson of the day, rather than any semblance of believable motivation. It was like watching a morality play written by a well-meaning but ultimately out-of-touch uncle. The result? A steady decline in the quality of content, leaving viewers feeling underwhelmed and, dare we say, intellectually insulted. The magic was gone, replaced by a sense of fatigue and a growing awareness that they were being spoon-fed simplistic solutions to complex problems. The internet is a fickle beast, and nowhere is this more evident than in the case of Dharr Mann. The same audience that once showered him with praise was now leading the charge in his downfall. Social media platforms, once dominated by praise for Mann's videos, were now flooded with criticism and mockery. Memes making fun of his formulaic storytelling and over-the-top acting spread like wildfire. Even his most ardent supporters struggled to defend the man who had become synonymous with cringeworthy content. The comments sections under his videos, once filled with heartfelt testimonials and expressions of gratitude, transformed into battlegrounds of dissenting opinions. People who once found solace in his message were now calling out the hypocrisy, the manipulation, and the sheer absurdity of it all. The downfall was swift and brutal, a stark reminder that in the court of public opinion, today's hero can easily become tomorrow's villain. The internet, with its short attention span and insatiable hunger for novelty, had moved on, leaving Dharr Mann to grapple with the consequences of his own success. While the decline in content quality played a significant role in Dharr Mann's downfall, deeper issues bubbled beneath the surface. Accusations of exploitative labor practices and a toxic work environment began to plague the once celebrated entrepreneur. Former employees came forward with allegations of low pay, long hours, and a culture of fear and intimidation. The man who preached kindness and empathy in his videos was accused of fostering the opposite within his own company. Furthermore, Mann's business practices came under fire, with accusations of misleading marketing tactics and shady financial dealings. The empire built on inspiration and positivity was now mired in controversy, its foundations shaken by allegations of greed and exploitation. The irony was not lost on the public. How could a man who preached ethical behavior and moral responsibility engage in such seemingly contradictory actions? The disconnect between Mann's carefully curated online persona and the reality of his business dealings further eroded public trust, leaving many to question the authenticity of his entire message. Dharr Mann's story is a cautionary tale about the perils of internet fame, the importance of authenticity, and the dangers of sacrificing integrity for views. It serves as a stark reminder that in the digital age, building a successful brand requires more than just catchy slogans and heartwarming videos. Mann's downfall highlights the importance of consistency between message and action. When a brand's values don't align with its behavior, it creates a disconnect that erodes trust and ultimately leads to its demise. In a world increasingly driven by social responsibility, consumers are more discerning than ever, demanding transparency and authenticity from the brands they support. Moreover, Mann's story underscores the fleeting nature of internet fame. What goes viral today can easily become yesterday's news in the blink of an eye. The internet, with its insatiable appetite for novelty and its short attention span, is a fickle mistress. Building a lasting legacy requires more than just riding the wave of fleeting trends. What lessons can we glean from Dharr Mann's meteoric rise and equally dramatic fall? Perhaps the most important takeaway is the importance of authenticity, both online and offline. In a world saturated with carefully curated personas, it's the genuine connections, the raw vulnerability, and the unwavering commitment to one's values that truly resonate. As of my last update in November 2023, Dharr Mann remains active on social media, though his content has shifted away from the formulaic morality tales that once defined his brand. He has addressed some of the criticisms leveled against him, promising greater transparency and a renewed focus on creating content that is both entertaining and meaningful. Whether this attempt at rebranding will be enough to salvage his reputation remains to be seen. The internet, as we know, has a long memory, and the scars of past transgressions can be difficult to erase. Only time will tell if Dharr Mann can regain the trust of his once devoted audience. Perhaps he will fade into obscurity, remembered as a fleeting internet phenomenon. Or maybe, just maybe, he will use this experience as an opportunity for genuine growth, emerging from the ashes of his downfall a humbler, wiser, and ultimately more authentic version of himself. One thing is for sure, the saga of Dharr Mann is far from over. The internet will be watching, waiting to see what becomes of the fallen guru, ready to hit that like button or unleash the fury of 1,000 keyboard warriors.